3 long days, some I don't know. It takes a little more than what you show, and that's yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Bobby Finn Knows Everyone. I'm Bobby Finn. We are part of Pull Tab Sports, and with me today again, Tom Lord. How are you, Tom?
Good to see you. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very well.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we also have our buddy and our neighbor, special guest, JT Bernier, fighting from the streets of Chicago, former Mankato Maverick. Is it Mankato or Minnesota State back then?
I was Mankato back then.
Yeah, played on the hockey team, so we brought him in, bring a little more to the show today.
A little bit of fighting action today.
What's up, guys? Everybody good?
Everybody's great. Thanks for joining us, JT, aka John Bernier.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah.
Do you know when I first met JT Bernier, he was named John Bernier?
Oh, gosh. I don't know if I'd have liked him if it was John.
No, I didn't want to put JT on a resume. John sounds more mature.
It does.
It does.
So what do you go as right now during your performance at Lube Tech?
JT.
JT. Okay.
I got old enough to have a nickname. First, you're too young to have a nickname.
This is true.
And I'm talking to a guy named Bobby.
Yeah. I hate the real name. That's the craziest part about it. Hey, how about that Derby? Did you guys watch that Derby last night?
Oh, yeah. I watched the Derby. We had a little Derby party.
Yeah, I missed
First
it.
ever. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
both of you. It was really nice to see both of you.
I
We
wasn't
wore
there.
hats. We wore hats and sunglasses.
I wasn't there either.
I know. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. We wore hats and sunglasses, and there was a big crowd, and we gambled a little bit, and we did not put money on the 80-1 long shot, which was amazing.
Why do people dress up for these parties? Where did it come from?
I have no idea. It's crazy, though. Everyone does. Everywhere.
I bet if you look into it, we're not going to like the answer. It's probably some like long white tradition of like asshole rich white people dressing fancy and nobody else was invited.
I like that people dress up for these parties, and at the end of the night, they're all wrecked. Their nice clothes are just terrible. Like you see some guy running across the porta potties in the infield in his seersucker suit. He's just wrecked, getting hit with Bud Light empty cans.
You're probably right. It's probably been going on for 100 years, so it's just a bunch of assholes that are started it, pompous pricks that are more money than what to do with.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the Masters, right? When people are like, well, the Masters, they got a long history of being jerks, so they better change their ways. So they did.
Yeah.
But anyway, did you see that horse 80-1? Did you see? Did you see him like just take a hard right, and then
just gone
down?
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are like, the horse looked to the right and saw the open spot and started going as fast as he could. I was like, I think the jockey maybe pulled his head to the right and then maybe deserves some of the credit for that win, because that was incredible. That thing was fast. Now, I don't know where that came from. That thing was going to race the day before, and all of a sudden it's the fastest horse in the race. So, yeah, look at that thing. So it's like it was biting the other horse, like the trainer horse. Or the whatever they call it, the
guide horse.
The guide horse.
Yep.
And so that dude was like manhandling it, and I guess Twitter blew up because they were so mad that this poor horse was like getting punched in the face, but it was attacking this other horse, which is kind of he's like chopping the hair down. That's a better move. That's like a Karate Kid move.
I think that's a badass horse right there. That horse is, you know what the horse is saying? Eat shit. And you can eat shit, and you can eat shit. I'm going to win this thing. And that's what the horse is saying. If you can't understand
I
it.
think that horse was like hopped up on goofballs.
I don't know.
I think that horse had like so much steroids in it. It was just like, I don't think that thing was playing fair. I think that thing was juiced up. He's all.
That's unbelievable. 80-1 is the second longest odds ever, right?
Yeah.
Second longest ever. I mean, that's incredible.
You put down $100 and you walk out $8,000 richer.
That's amazing.
That's 81. That's what that means.
And what was that? So they had a video of the Major League Baseball guy pitching.
Yes. So this is great. So it wasn't this year, but someone made a comment like, "This is what's wrong with Major League Baseball. The Kentucky Derby is exciting. It's fun. It's a minute and a half or however long it is. Baseball takes so long. You could do the entire Kentucky Derby during one pitch of a Major League game. So they took a Zach Greinke one pitch, and they matched it up with the Kentucky Derby, and the Kentucky Derby finishes before Zach Greinke throws a pitch. Watch this. It's 2 minutes long. We can talk through it. All right, I'm going to throw another video up here, Thomas. God, it's video. Like, look at the media that we're pulling into this podcast, Bobby.
You got that right.
So look at this. There's a little overlay there. Hope you can see it. So the horses are racing. The guy's just stepping in the batter's box. Here's Zach Greinke. He's just getting ready. This is what's wrong with baseball.
We'll give you a third one to overlay with your mind. This is Sergio Garcia steps up to the tee. He regrips, and I'll just repeat regrip 50 more times.
He steps in. So look at this. He hasn't even thrown a pitch yet, and they're already making a turn. Okay. He's still looking in. This is one pitch in baseball. Batter needs some time. Okay, batter needs some time. They're still going. Okay, hold on. I need a lot of time. I'm going to step out. I'm not quite ready yet. Greinke's like, yeah, I don't know. What are we going to throw here? What are we going to throw here? And it's not even over. Isn't it ridiculous?
It's terrible, and they're changing that, right? Did they change it a little bit already?
I think
they
say
did.
they do every year,
But I think they're going to a pitch clock, and you can't do this stuff anymore. I think it started with Chuck Knobloch. Chuck Knobloch started with his gloves and stuff. He did it like 50 times. Like, get in the box, or I'm going to drill you in the face.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously.
Those turned into like glitches for him, though. That's what the kids are called. Those are glitches.
Yeah.
He gets into a routine. We'll talk about superstitions later, but that turns into like a glitch.
The tournament, are the pitches still not thrown yet?
Dude, look at the catcher's got to come out and talk to him now.
It's pathetic.
And we expect our kids to watching baseball. They're never gonna watch baseball. All right, we're done watching this.
Yeah.
It's so painful. You can't even watch the replay of it.
Seriously, but I heard they are going to different rules next year, and they have to. Like we said last time, they're going to lose the game, and the game's been going on too long. They got to adapt, and the attention span of anybody these days isn't there. And I got to be there the next 3 goddamn days. The Astros are in town, so I got to go tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and Thursday.
Season tickets to all at 162, 182. What is it?
Oh, terrible. No, it's half that. You get to go to 80 home games, but
Right. But how about something funny? How about that cop down, or the security guard or prison guard down in, where was it, Alabama?
She sprung the guy loose. Did you see that?
Yeah, he's 6'9" guy. How do you sneak out of prison?
Yeah, this is how you sneak out of prison. And I think people love it. I think people love a good jailbreak story.
Why? I don't get it.
It's exciting. It's just exciting. I think
You're not supposed to be able to do that. That's why it's exciting.
Yeah, the Alcatraz thing. People aren't like, oh my god, that was like. They're like, oh, he got out. He swam the whole channel. He got out. How amazing is that?
Can you imagine the 6'9" guy like Shawshank Redemption just bringing out pebbles every day and dropping them in the yard? Trying to sneak out through. It would take him 10 extra years because he has to make the hole bigger.
Well, he didn't even do that. He just gave up a couple pebbles to the guard. Because what did you say? They stopped by the
first stop,
a sex shop or something?
Sex toy shop.
Isn't that like reverse Munchausen syndrome, right? Where the guard falls in love with the prisoner instead of the other way around.
Oh, girls love, and maybe guys do too, but they love prison people. They love like hooking up with. There's a whole
bad boys.
There's a whole cult of people who love people in jail.
Yeah, it used to be pen pals, right?
Like, what a fetish to have.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Because they're they're bad boys or
those
bad
guys
girls.
have access to the internet, cell phones in prison or no?
Yes, they have access to everything. I don't get it.
So what's your Tinder profile look like if you're in prison currently? Hey, can't meet you in person for a while, right? Swipe right to let me loose.
That's right.
Swipe right. So how
do you come up with you're behind jail and your profile picture? I'll write you a great pen pal letter.
I bet that's not what it looks like.
What
but
did he
maybe
say to her?
maybe it does if that's what they like.
I mean, what did he say to her?
He was probably romancing her the whole time.
He had to show the
They just fell in
tripod.
love.
I mean, he had to. 6'9". Look at the log. I mean,
And she's
like, I don't get it.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's quite the story, and I'm guessing they're gonna get caught real soon because they were like driving some car that was spray painted in color. I'm sure that's real hard to find. Actually, I think they found the car.
Just mathematically, there aren't that many 6'9" guys around, too.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. I just think anybody that escapes jail should be shot on sight. Don't ask questions. Just shoot them.
You leave jail, boom.
Yeah,
I think that's probably our law. It's probably a law, isn't it?
No, not these days.
True.
Jeez.
Well, if somebody's about to do harm to you, you're legally able to whatever.
I was kind of about 2 blocks away. There was some guy from Wisconsin sitting at the car door open, and I'm like, kind of stay back a little ways. I'm like, what is this guy doing? And he just looked like some mechanic from Wisconsin. But I'm like, shit, who knows? It's Wisconsin. They're crazy as hell over there.
A lot of crazies.
That was crazy.
More murders? No, more
Like crazy. The Ed Geins and the Dahmers and the
serial killers. More serial killers per square feet than anywhere else in the world.
probably.
Yeah. JT's
I
a
don't know.
Chicago guy. He wouldn't know. But you probably did your vacationing in Wisconsin when you were a kid, right?
Wisconsin Dells.
I think I feel like I went on every vacation to a hockey destination at some point. Quebec City is not exactly a hotspot for vacations. Toronto, Mississauga,
Right.
North Bay. That sounds terrible, right? Who wants to go there?
Yeah, for sure. I want to ask you, you have probably a really good outside perspective on Minnesota Association hockey is different than any other hockey really in the U.S. It's club hockey everywhere
Agreed.
you go, but
Mhm.
Minnesota's got this all right, we've got enough teams for associations to play. That tournament we were in Chicago. I was talking to some kid and he's like, wait, how does it work? Well, who do you guys play with? So this is your AAA team? Yeah, but we only do AAA in the summer and then we play associations. You have enough players to play the city next to you? He goes, yeah. So you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think it should change?
I think Minnesota, Michigan, some of the hockey hotbeds out east, New England. I think those states have enough players to field, whether you call it association hockey or traveling hockey, whatever you want to say. I think there's very few states that can field competitive teams like that. You get into a region like Illinois or Ohio, to some extent the states in the Midwest, and they just don't have enough kids to be competitive at that level. So how do you support your top end players, right? And we're lucky enough to live in a state that has thousands of hockey players. As a percentage, I think, the three major states account for a large percentage of total USA Hockey registrants. Right. So when I grew up, I was looking for, and my parents helped me find the highest level of hockey to play.
Sure.
In Illinois, that happened to be AAA hockey.
So then do you try out for another, okay, I'm going to try out for this team, but if I make the other team, I'm going to play for the other team. I'm going to try out for a couple different teams.
It depends on what age you are, right? When you're playing Bantam hockey, you can always go back to your association's AA team. But to back when we played AAA hockey was truly AAA, where you had to earn that spot on the team, and you were put together with, there were 17 total kids on the team, 3 lines and 2 goalies, and they came from everywhere around the metro area. Right. So you got to know a lot of people. I mean, I'm blessed to have played with some really, really good players and some players that you'd know, but when I grew up, that was the best opportunity to advance my skills, right? The coaching was better. Obviously the cost was higher too. It was a bigger investment for my parents, but
that's the thing. Yeah.
But it was the path, right? And a story I'll always tell is that when we were freshmen, this is Bantam minor year, we played my high school team, who ended up winning the Illinois State tournament that year. We beat them 8-1 as freshmen. So the quality of the hockey just wasn't there. But then we go to a weekend in Detroit and play Little Caesars and CompuWare, things like that, and we'd split. Yeah. So the highest level hockey wasn't played in Illinois at the high school or association level. It was AAA hockey. Sure. And that's your path out, right? That's the next step everybody wants to take.
But do you feel like that could still be a path out for Minnesota kids to say, like, you know what, I want to only play with the best of the best players, so we're going to put together a little elite dream team, and we're going to go and play the Little Caesars as well. And
I think Minnesota is unique because you can put together a team full of kids from a much smaller regions and compete with some of the kids that put together larger region teams, right? That's because there's so much talent here. And I think one of the things that you missed out on by playing AAA hockey in Illinois or Michigan is that, the guys that you play with here are the kids that you were playing with as mites. Right. And there's a core group generally that moves throughout hockey together. And you miss that lifetime of friendship, right? Versus coming together as a team for 1 year and then 5 kids are gone and it's 5 more kids. And, those kids are never your best friends for life. But here in Minnesota, we're lucky because you can look at any team and 6 of those kids have been playing together for 8 years.
Sure.
Right. And you just see natural progression of ins and outs as kids get older and puberty happens. But, being able to say you've done it, whatever it is, win a state championship, get to regions, go to state as a high school team with your buddies is pretty important. Yeah. And that's unique about our culture here.
Yeah. I would also say what's unique and what's good about it is it gives everybody a chance to play affordable hockey or afford to play hockey. So you don't have to spend $20,000 a year on going to every tournament in every different city. Yeah. You can play hockey, you can play competitive hockey, and it's affordable for everybody.
I agree.
You switch to a program that's all club teams. Well, then now everybody's got to travel and everybody's got to, maybe you can still play teams in close to your city, but it's still going to raise that price quite a bit.
Look at the USPHL, for example. That's a league designed to
United States Postal Service. Love that place.
Yeah, I think it's the U.S. Prospects Hockey League. It's anywhere kids anywhere from I think U15s through U18s, and these are teams that might be based out of a region, but they do traveling to Colorado. They travel to New Mexico, and the weekend series that they play, that's their season. They do a bunch of those weekend series, and it's 3 nights in a hotel for parents, including travel. You've got the same cost when it comes to sticks and equipment as everybody else, but they've got to go places to find competition. Right, the Sioux Falls Stampede, that team is going throughout the Midwest to find competition at their age group, which comes with a cost.
Sure.
And the best part about Minnesota is that we think a long road trip is 45 miles. Oh, what a pain. I've got to drive 45 miles to Elk River to play great hockey, and everybody else is thinking 450 miles. Yeah. We miss out on that. Right. We fail to remember that that's a long road trip for them.
We did an overnight last year in Lakeville. Sweet.
30 miles away. You did it because there's a water park there.
We did it because there's booze in the hotel room.
Probably should get a hotel. Yeah. But no, they're Garrity and King are starting that West Coast Hockey League upcoming. It's based out of LA, and they got cities around there. They're going to be starting that up too. So there's going to be more opportunities for the top end players as well I think they're trying to do something with the USHL, but they'll figure it out, I'm sure. But
it's good.
Yes.
Well, more and more schools we're seeing schools take their programs and move them to Division I every year. 2-3 more schools that are moving up, which is creating more opportunities for kids because as the high end talent is there. I mean, who doesn't agree that the NHL skill level is better than it's ever been? Right. I'm convinced that our high school program here would probably kick our AAA team's ass. Right. I talk about it like it was great, but I think the high school hockey being played right now, go back 25 years and they're dominating.
Man,
right? The skill level is just insane.
I watched a video of our high school team showing my kid. We were so bad.
Yeah. Why is it the older we get, the better we were, but you actually are worse.
Oh, we couldn't pass. We couldn't skate around anybody. I never saw the ice. My kid's like, when are you going to get out there? When are you going to get out there? I was like, oh, I guess not this game. Maybe this game.
You can't shoot very hard. I was using a Brett Hall Christian stick stuck in a Easton CCM or Easton shaft that was bent.
And Sherwood coffee curve.
Yes, exactly.
But I sent you that video, and you're like, "What in the hell is this?" It was a high school. Yeah, it's funny. But just the talent. You're right. I mean, the talent now. I mean, I keep always saying Trevor Zegras. It's mind-boggling what that guy does with the puck. But everybody's so creative. And we used to get shot down. We used to get shot down for trying anything outside the box. But it's exciting. It's cool. I think the future is bright for hockey. I think it's hitting a lot of different areas of people, right? I mean, people are encouraged to play it from all walks of life, and that's great. I think it's going to be well received around the country and the world.
Yeah. How about Into the Wild? Are you thinking we're going to pull this out or no? Because
why do people get all crazy?
People are
I don't
get
it. Why are they panicking? I don't get it. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NHL. I mean, they are a really, really good team. The way the NHL has the playoff set up is absolute asinine. I mean, how do you? I
can't follow it. So
you play your division.
So you only get ranked within your division.
Yeah. So 3 of the top teams in the NHL are in our division.
God, what a joke.
Yeah, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Why do people got to mess with everything so much?
Just 1 through 8. Whoever the best team is 1. Worst team is 8.
If you earn it during the regular season, you should be rewarded for that.
Right.
Right. So
100%.
1 plays 8, 2 plays 7. I mean that's logical.
Stop overcomplicating.
Right. Exactly. It's pretty easy. If you've earned it during the regular season, it should be an easier path, right? If you squeaked into the playoffs, well, prove it.
Right. Now you got to earn it.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's stupid how they're doing it, but I think it's crazy how people are panicking from Minnesota. They do look. There's guys that look injured. They really do. I mean, Foligno looks off.
Yeah, Foligno hasn't looked. No, he hasn't stood out at all.
Dumba shouldn't even be on the ice right now. I mean, he's struggling really bad. I like him. Nice guy, great player, but if you can't help the team, you shouldn't be on the ice.
He had a tough night the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turnover.
Why don't you put your hands on somebody instead of letting somebody toe drag in front of you right in front of the goalie?
God, I wanted to puke.
Yeah.
Do you want to see something that won't make you puke? And this is Bobby scoring his goal at the Coliseum. You ready for this, Thomas? Here comes a good one. Watch this. Ooh, watch this move, JT.
Is that a ProTech? Is that a ProTech helmet?
Did you see that?
Snipey.
Yeah, like the people I've showed that to, they're like,
It's so
are
great.
you playing adapted hockey right there? What the hell is going on?
Look at the old Coliseum. That's where I played my last game.
Yeah, I'm fine.
That's awesome.
That was fun for
I-
sure.
I dug up some. We'll put it this way: it started out as a VHS tape, then it turned into a DVD, then it turned into an MP4, then it ended up on YouTube. And this happened over 25 years, right? But it was a trip that our team, when I was younger, took to Leningrad, Russia, which is now St. Petersburg. We played outside against a team from Estonia, and we were dressed. Our uniforms made us look like skating American flags. Literally,
That's
Washington
awesome.
Capitol pants with stars and stripes and everything's. We've got all the equipment, and then we played against a team from Russia who had sticks taped from knob to toe because they couldn't afford a new stick. Some of the kids had no mask on, right? But this grainy video of us playing outside in Russia, you can read the Aeroflot sign on the boards, and the there's no glass; it's all chain link fence. But as I was watching it, I thought to myself, "Man, does this look old?" It looks like everything was all grainy. You couldn't really tell. I knew who the guys were, but you couldn't really watch it.
And how was the competition there?
That was a one game thing. We took a trip there. A week prior, we were playing in what was called the World Cup of Hockey in Helsinki, Finland, and that was a week long tournament against teams like Jokerit, TPS. And in that tournament, Saku Koivu was playing Juha Lind, a couple guys who made it to the show.
Sweet.
So it was high level competition for a week in Helsinki, which was a great trip. But any video surfacing from those things it just naturally looks really old.
Yeah, it sucks because I think a lot of people lost videos. Like I had probably 20 games are on VHS and they're gone.
They got eaten by the machine.
Okay.
You had to get the tape got stuck in there, and then
One
you
of
had to,
them,
wind
my
it up.
buddy threw it away. We were living together, and I think he stopped. He hated me watching it every single morning because it was a center breakout. This kid from Cretan, Jose, you know who you are, did a center breakout, and I came from about the red line and absolutely murdered him. But it just got
Murder
you pumped
face.
up, when you drill somebody like that. It just you're like, yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah,
I'd go to work.
murder face.
Murder face.
God.
Well, getting back to the Wild for a second, I had some notes and thoughts on this too. I think the Wild need to be a lot harder to play against. I ask myself, where's Kevin Fiala? Right, your second highest franchise points guy ever.
Yeah. He was awesome.
St. Louis went back to Binnington, who was 0-9 in his last 9 playoff starts. Right, so how do you get the guy feeling like he did the rest of the year? I drafted this guy for my fantasy hockey team, and he sucked this year. I wanted to let him go, and now he's back.
He didn't suck last night.
No, he didn't. So how do you get him back to like, hey, question your game, and
Right.
oh, maybe you don't have it anymore, right? There's a reason why they started Husso over him, right?
Right.
Get shots on that. Get in front.
They'll
You know,
get
make him
back.
uncomfortable.
They'll get back. I think they're just fine. It's 2-2 right now. It's exactly where it should be when you're playing a team just like you are. Now you got 3 games to go. We have the home field advantage.
So now
home
do we
ice
go?
advantage. We go here, there, here.
Okay.
So it's right where we need it to be. So we're just fine.
It's also in a Minnesotan's nature to worry about sports,
Oh, God.
right? I mean, I know football's a one and done thing, but it's been tough being a Vikings fan lately. By lately, I mean ever. Right?
That's the guy from Chicago talking
Yeah,
about
I know.
this.
But how'd the Timberwolves do?
But,
Blew a couple leads there. So you're naturally on edge as a Minnesota sports fan,
Yeah.
right?
We know what's coming.
the last major championship was what? Twins, right?
91.
91, 87 and
Unless you
91.
go Lynx.
Yep.
Lynx were awesome.
Wild.
Yes.
Never. Twins.
Thanks,
Never.
yes.
Vikings. Not Vikings.
Never.
60.
Vikings
no?
never won. No.
Oh, Super Bowl in 60 something, right? I don't know.
yeah,
That's one thing being from Chicago that I do have, right? We've got a World Series championship in 2015 with the Cubs, and then 3 in 10 years with the Hawks. So
Back to backs,
You know.
right? You guys had back to backs.
back. No, they were. I think it
The
was
Hawks. Who the hell are Hawks?
The
the
Hawks.
Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, the Blackhawks. Shit.
Who are the
Yeah.
I
Hawks?
was
The
thinking
Atlanta
for-
Hawks.
I was thinking he's going back to
Yeah.
Jordan. I was like,
No, no.
yeah, you got
Yeah,
lucky
that-
there.
and
That's
Jordan's too.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, the Bulls.
Yeah.
That was,
The
they're
Bulls.
from Chicago?
Doubles.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
You guys get them to claim.
No, I did say though, because the Wild were an inaugural team. What is it now? 25 years. 20 years. They have their
20
20th
or 21
just
years.
plus
I think.
20?
Yeah.
So all my kids were born here as Wild fans, and I said, look, you didn't grow up in Illinois, so it's not, you can be allegiant to both teams. You can cheer for both. But when the Hawks and the Wild play, you cheer for the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's funny.
No questions asked.
I literally I debated on raising my kid as a New York fan because my wife and her dad are from New York, or they're
Yeah.
born there. And I'm like, well, being a Yankees fan, Rangers aren't that great, neither are the Giants, but they got more than Minnesota does.
Hell yeah, they do.
But anyway,
It's awful.
yeah, I think they're just fine. I think they'll be fine. They got a lot of heart. They got guys sitting the bench right now that I think they should be playing.
Like their fourth liners or what?
Well, the
Delorier?
healthy scratches,
Oh,
they put in Dumba, and who did they scratch last game? He's a D, solid D, and it wasn't Goligoski. He
Ben?
played the last game.
not Ben.
Dover, who?
Ben Dover? No.
Jamie Bendover. Jordy Bendover.
Jordy
Jordy
Ben.
Ben. Yeah, he's been doing all right.
They didn't,
At
they didn't
least
play
he's
Goligoski
healthy,
right away.
right?
Right.
So you got to have these healthy guys. I mean, these guys are getting out there and they're busting their ass and trying their hardest, but you can see that they're struggling.
Yeah, when you're injured, especially in a physical game like
right,
that.
right.
Did you guys see the question that the Maple Leafs coach was asked, Sheldon Kennedy? Some reporter from Toronto said, well, why would you start your worst defenseman in the most important game of the year? And he said, who's my worst defenseman? He said, oh, it's Hall. And he just looked at the microphone deadpan and said, well, that's your opinion. Just
Yeah, right.
F you. We put in the best. Those guys, they put the best lineup out there to try and win. Obviously, they're trying matchups, and
Sure.
they're seeing whose numbers are favorable. But if you're going advanced analytics, right? I mean, look at the assistant general manager that the Chicago Blackhawks just hired is a 30-year-old guy who was with the Cubs for a long time. He's an analytics guy. There's a lot of these guys that are going super, super deep.
Mm-hmm.
The old school guys going, give me the grit, what's your puck possession time, right? What's your, what's your Corsi and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you look at some of those things, maybe those decisions are being run by numbers.
Yeah, I think at some point you got to use your gut, man. You got to use what you think is going to work.
You think Dean is
Analytics.
an analytics guy?
I don't think so. But
Oh,
speaking of Dean, I'm so mad at him right now.
Uh-oh.
Who the hell dressed him last game? He's wearing a blue suit. We're playing the Blues. You can't wear a blue suit.
God,
The guy's
jinxed
got,
us.
he's got the best mad face in any coach out there.
Seriously,
His
I think
eyes
when
look like they're going to pop out of his head.
Chucky's mad. Chucky's like, oh God, he's got me.
Right.
Gruden gets like he had the worst.
Gruden's
face
got
ever.
the worst.
But
coach
I think
face.
Evanson's up. He wants.
He's up there.
Yeah, he wants to.
I think he plays it up. I feel like he plays it up a lot because he's just like.
I love it. Gosh, I mean, seriously, sign language. They should have closed caption for sign language.
Well, you don't
'Cause
need
he's
it.
throwing the
You don't need it a
F-bombs
lot
around.
of times.
Oh
Did
my
you see the one
God.
where the video? There's a girl sitting in the front row, and they both said "F you" at the same time at the exact same time. I was like,
That's fantastic.
Well, if players are supposed to be role models for kids, do you think coaches should be role models for coaches?
No.
Well, I mean, here we got a problem with youth referees, right? We can't get enough of them. Parents abuse them, coaches abuse them, and you're seeing it at the highest level. When you see an NHL coach going "fuck you," well, I mean, hey, there's a lot of parents out there who aren't mature enough to say that I'm not going to model my behavior. It's fine for them to do it.
sure.
Why don't I do
They
it? Why
get
don't I
all
just give
fired
the
up.
gears to a 17-year-old volunteer making $25 an hour
yeah.
as a side job?
You're saying youth coaches can now mimic the pro coaches because they're like, hey,
They're being-
that guy gave him an earful with the
Yeah,
FUs.
they're
then
giving
might as
him a
well.
free pass. I mean, what happened to the guys? What happened to the coaches like the Montreal Canadian coaches growing up where they just have their piece of paper in their hand, fold their arms, and just go, just keep playing. Just keep playing. Don't worry about the referees. Just
Right.
keep playing.
Just keep playing.
But instead, you gotta let them know every single thing that's wrong, right?
Mhm.
Oh, we're gonna put it to replay too. Damn it!
Yeah, I don't know how refs do it. My cousin's ref, and I was like, "You must love controversy. You must love getting railed." They're like, "No, most guys are pretty good as long as you play it the right way and say, I'm going to come over, I'm going to explain myself, I'm going to answer your questions, and that's it." And then most coaches respect that. But then I think you get a lot of refs don't do that. They just don't even come over. They don't want to hear about it, and that's when things get out of hand.
Well, the NHL refs have to take it to a point.
Well,
right.
They're getting paid
mean-
very well to do it, to take that shit.
What do those refs make?
Very well.
Do you know what do those refs make?
I bet the most senior refs in the league are making $250 a year.
Wow.
I bet somebody can look it up, but it's a path to.
They make a ton of money, and they put up with a lot of shit. But
At least they're catching shit from 40. There might be at most 40 people inside the glass.
right.
Take it to a sport like lacrosse where you got parents sitting right on the sidelines, right in the ears of the. I would not want to be a lacrosse ref.
When I
Or
got
an
booted-
ump. Like you're
when
right
I got
behind the
booted
ump.
that one game, did you see?
Yeah, when you kick the glass.
Well, I didn't kick
Bobby
it. I
got
just
kicked out of one of our
I
games this
tapped
year.
the glass with my foot, and I just put my arm up, and he goes, "You're out."
Oh, God.
And I'm like, "Okay, see you later."
We had that happen in Edina. It was like a Bantam B1 year, and we were playing in Bloomington in that rink that you can look straight down on the benches. Well, there was a very inebriated Edina parent who was giving the gears to the referee. The referee said, "You're out," pointed to the exit. He wouldn't leave. There was a scrum he chirped people on the way out, and people were being held apart by fists, and the guy got arrested. And this is a Bantam B1 hockey.
In Edina. That's the
Edina.
most unbelievable thing.
And
I didn't-
yeah, it was.
I didn't think Edina parents drank.
John
I thought
King's
they
going
were
to
just
scrub
kidding.
this whole thing.
I mean, it was a
Totally is.
it was a puffy
He's a
jacket
white bear
guy.
guy.
He had a puffy jacket on too.
He's a white bear.
Yeah.
He's converted.
By proxy.
Yeah, puffy jacket guaranteed.
Puffy
Just
jacket.
grabbed him by the Columbia.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, how
No, he's not wearing Columbia there. They're wearing
No.
like
Eddie
Yeah,
Bauer.
it's North
Eddie
Face
Bauer.
or
North
friggin'
Face.
Patagonia. Yeah, for
It-
sure.
It's just you
Ralph
see it all-
Lauren.
You see it
Probably
all the
got their
time.
own now.
So Ralph Lauren, Edina model.
Yeah.
Special edition.
It's tough. I would just say in general, all parents, all fans need to back off the referees. Let them do their job. They're not out there to screw your kid. And then nobody wakes up in the morning saying, "Let's see if I can screw this U14 hockey team." Right.
Right.
So
Calm down.
it's a game for kids about kids.
You should ref. You ever thought
I
about
did
ref?
ref. My first job was a referee. I ref men's league games, and I got my gold patch. It was USA Hockey's, I think it was 50th anniversary. My gold patch, first game, men's league. I went to call tripping penalty, and the guy who got tripped got up, looked at me, and said, "Kid, no." So I pulled my hand down and didn't call the penalty. It was a bunch of 40-year-old guys, and I was like, "I'm going to call my first penalty." I was nervous, I was sweating a little bit, and I was told not to call the penalty by the guy that got tripped. I'm like, well, what am I doing here? Just chasing icings? Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Just take your 25 bucks and get out of here.
Right.
I ref frat league hockey one time. My buddies, I wasn't in a frat at the U, but a couple of my friends were, and they're like, "Hey, you should ref this frat league. It's perfect. You get $50 a game, and it's great." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll come over and whatever." At Augsburg, Jason Longnecker was there, and I cut this. They're like, "What do you call it?" They're like, "No checking. Don't let him run the goalie." It was just like little stuff, right? I go, okay. Yeah, there's like nobody's gonna do anything. Well, there was probably 50 kids that were watching. Everybody was wasted. The players were wasted. It was like third shift in. Some guy puck goes in the corner. Guy comes in and just hard elbow to the face of this other guy. Boom, knocks him over, just glass clanking, right? And I was like, arm in the air, like you elbow 2 minutes. And you can't call penalties in frat league. Are you effing kidding me? Penalties in frat league? And I turned my back, and he helicopters his stick at my head, over my head, hits the glass. I go to my buddy. I was like, I'm done. I'm not reffing it. No, it's okay. It's okay. He was out of control. Yeah, that was a good call. Yeah. Oh my God, the worst thing ever to ref, frat league hockey.
You could probably know
agree.
that going into that, right? Frat
I
league.
probably
What
should have
could
guessed
go
that.
wrong?
I should have guessed that.
We used to play with a group called the Gorillas. It was our post Mankato group that played in the full checking league over at Parade Ice Arena, where the Wild used to practice. And we probably did that league for 10 years. There were only 4 teams. It was Bucks Unpainted Furniture, Green Mill, Fury Motors, and our Gorillas team. And we, when you play 3 teams over the course of 12 weeks, you tend not to, either you do like or you do not like guys in the other team. But
Sure.
there were games where guys would get hit in the face with a puck and there'd be fighting. And I can't imagine trying to break up 2 37-year-olds who have to go to work the next day. Right?
That's it.
I mean, you're
You
trying to
gotta
punch a guy in the face and it's like, hey, we both got to go sell insurance tomorrow. Can we just back off a little bit? It's a moment here, a moment here you're pissed off, but nobody wants to lose teeth because you get a good dental plan. You don't think of that shit when you're 15, 20 years old fighting.
Yeah, 37-year-olds
Right.
for sure. Gotta go
Right.
back to work at Best Buy the next day.
Yeah, I think one of my retorts to somebody who told me to settle down, he said, "Hey, settle down. We both got to work tomorrow." I said, "Tomorrow's Sunday. Car dealerships are closed." What do you guys, as you think about sports, we're talking a lot about sports. Either of you guys have any superstitions or things that you think you consider lucky? Do you have a lucky thing when you were a kid?
Maybe. Well, no, maybe not when I was a kid. I know you had a lot of different things that you did with your towels and your jerseys and your whatnots, but
Yeah, that wasn't lucky superstition though. It was
That
just
was just
more
like-
being
That was preening.
exactly what this says. Don't be a dick. That was being a dick. But once you get on the ice or the field, you become a different person, right?
sure.
I mean, people that really get into it, you are a different person once you get on that ice.
What about like taping your stick and all that? Did you like these kids now? They tape their stick every game the
Yep.
same way. They can't this, they can't that. It's like I put it here. I need a fist bump before I go on the ice.
It all depends on who's buying your shit, right? It's easier to tape your stick every day when your parents are buying it for you or it's supplied to you.
Oh heck yeah!
So one of my superstitions was I have new laces for every game. I didn't need them. I know a Friday's game didn't wear out a pair of laces.
pack of fresh laces.
2 new laces,
You
yeah.
break out. Oh
Yeah.
man,
It was just
who's paying for that?
the team.
Yeah,
Best part
okay,
about
well,
it.
there
yeah.
you go.
My one lucky thing was my first goal I scored in junior hockey. I kept it and I started to put the Patrick Kane puck rub on my blade.
Yep.
And I swear that puck is 50% volume wise smaller than it was when I scored the goal. I mean, it's old, but
You used
still
half a puck on two.
no. This is
goals?
over the course of 20 years, right? Yeah. But it's all smoothed down, and it's one of those things. I'm like, I wonder if I can give this to my kids when I die. I can, it's valuable.
Yeah.
Not really. It's a puck. Remember, it cost $1.
But that's nostalgic for
Yeah.
sure. That's cool. Yeah. There are people, especially I think hockey. Hockey's got some nuts.
Well, then the kids see this too with the pros and what they do. All these players, game in and game out, how they. I mean, even Kevin Garnett throws the powder up in the air.
Right.
And,
I think the thing that most people don't realize is that, while the Wild look great when they're skating out there, they've got the pant shells on and they've got the socks and the jerseys. If you were to actually examine equipment from some of these guys, I bet you'd find guys wearing shoulder pads that are 15 years old.
oh, they do.
And knee pads that are 20 years old. And some of their undershirts and undergarments, they just don't change, right? I mean, they look
Absolutely.
nice from the outside, but the superstition happens when you actually watch somebody like Sidney Crosby prepare for a game. He wore the same hat for years until they, until he replaced it, or they didn't win the cup, right? Or he does the same thing, or
Who had the 20-year-old jockstrap that he
that was
wore?
Crosby.
It was Crosby. Yeah.
Yep, 20 years old. I would not want to be protected by that thing.
God,
But why
that's
change
where-
it?
I think that's where the measles.
about-
Remember the measles went through the whole NHL? I think that's where that started. It was like
What's
He
chick's
touched
going
his
down on
nut
him
cup.
later?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yep. I always like to tell people I have leg hairs stuck in my shin pads that are older than you, right? Like,
so
shin
I,
pads are
Your
super,
leg
super
hairs.
old.
You
Yeah,
could go a little north, and I'm sure they'd be
Right.
the same.
exactly.
yeah, I didn't have any superstitions as a player because maybe I didn't really play that much. But I have every time I watch a game and I'm super dialed into it, like go for hockey for sure, Wild too. Like I'm convinced that what I do impacts the game. I didn't watch it in the right spot. I was
my
driving. I didn't watch the first period and they were doing really well. Now I'm watching the second period and they're doing terrible. I'm like, I gotta go home. I didn't sit here. I didn't drink this. I didn't wear that. Like literally, I feel I'm honestly I'm convinced that what I do, and I'm one person of 80,000, 100,000 fans, million fans, that I don't have any impact whatsoever, but I'm convinced that I do.
I
And
think
it's just
everybody kind of
stupid.
has a little bit of that because yesterday I was driving down to the post, did some errands, so I got there late. We're winning, and I'm like, should I even go in?
Yes,
Because
right.
we're up 1-0. If I go in, might turn bad.
And you turned it bad.
I went in, turned it bad.
It's your fault.
My fault. Sorry.
Wait till
Dean.
you, how about your kids making up superstitions? Mom, I scored 2 goals and you weren't there, so you can't come watch me play anymore, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's not true. That's not why you scored 2 goals. But if you believe that, and all of a sudden, your wife's looking at you like, "Oh, I can't watch him play anymore."
What
See,
are-
you came and watched and I didn't score.
Yeah, it's your fault.
That's your fault.
Yeah. What are some other sports though? I remember there was a guy. God, I think he was one of your guys. Your Cubs. Was it Turk Wendell, who would like hop weird over the freaking.
Oh, he won't
chalk
touch the
line.
white chalk line.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of across the board. Not many
Yeah.
people jump on it, but he made it just weird, like more weird, I should say. But
Oh yeah.
there's some weird superstitious people out there.
Well, if
for
you
sure.
believe, they say what if isn't that a line in Bull Durham? Like if you believe it, then it's a superstition. If you think you're going to play bad because you did this, then you're going to play bad. But if you don't let it mess with you, then nothing's going to happen. But
100% of what you believe in, you believe.
right, but
I mean,
but
that
do-
stat
but-
is irrefutable.
But as fans, here's the thing: as fans, do we control the outcome of the game whatsoever? No. However, go with me for a second. If everybody's got bad energy and they put their bad energy out in the world, are you like an energy person or like a?
Hell yes,
Yeah.
that's what home
So if-
ice advantage is.
But if everybody has this bad feeling in Minnesota, like oh we're gonna lose because this and that, and they put this bad energy out in the world, does that get absorbed into the players and then they play bad? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I think players believe things. I think it was well, you've got the Wild, right? This is our ice,
Yeah.
where people are bringing.
Who came up with that?
Who came up with that?
Some jackal.
They're bringing water from their local lakes and rivers. I think that's cool, right? You're skating on stuff that say people believe in you. They want to bring you water from South Twin Lake over in Millbrook or Mille Lacs or wherever.
Right.
I think that's cooler than hell. I've seen NHL players do it too, where they take frozen Zamboni ice and bring it to a visitor's rink and spray it all over the water just to give themselves a little psychological edge. And I think that's kind of, I think it's fun. I think it's one of the quirks of the games. And
Absolutely. But
You
I
know?
do think they feed off of whatever the vibe is inside there. And by the way, I did put a petition in to change South Twin Lake to South Finn Lake. Not sure that's going to go through with Millbrook
I voted
Association.
down.
Millbrook Association's pretty strict.
Do you know somebody got chopped up and dumped in that lake? You know that story, right?
You told me that story.
I did not know the story.
You
but
don't?
No.
Yeah, true story. Back in the 80s, I think, Jason Ligday,
Yeah.
he lived on Mendel Road, which kind of like comes right out to 96 there.
Yep.
And which butts up to South Twin Lake. Well, some girl got picked up in the 80s. I think they at like Sharks nightclub or whatever. Drove her home, murdered her. They found body parts like on Mendel Road in the lake, torso and head and all sorts of creepy stuff. Like, wait for the next My Favorite Murder podcast because that's probably gonna be one of them.
Man.
But creepy. Don't let your kids know or they'll never go by that lake again.
Well,
Because superstitions. They'll never play. Here's the superstition. Don't play hockey on South Twin Lake because somebody died and got dumped in the lake. And now that bad juju is affecting my Bantam A game.
Yeah, all the parents going nuts on Millbrook website last year when the kids are out skating there. Oh my God, they're gonna die. It's like a foot deep, 90% of the
So
lake.
technically,
Drop into your ankles.
anybody who brought the wild water from South Twin Lake and dumped it onto the wild ice could have minute particles of human body on there.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Minute particles.
okay.
I mean, maybe-
Minute particles of dead body.
Yeah.
I think that's an official like forensic term, right?
Yes,
Minute
that's
particles of
exactly
dead
what they
body.
do.
I have a question for you, Tom. What if the NFL or Major League Baseball or the NFL or NBA had a transfer portal?
Transfer. Don't
Take the
don't
college
they
rules.
already? Don't they
Yeah,
already?
they
Like
do.
the
They're called
NBA
free
does.
agents, but-
Yeah, the NBA
But what if they
does.
officially had a transfer portal?
Oh God, it would screw up sports. I hate
Make
it.
it a lot more interesting.
It would.
Be tougher to run
But
a fantasy league where you had players that you keep.
Oh yeah,
year
but
after year.
LeBron already wrecked the NBA. And Kevin Garnett wrecked the NBA first by doing like hey, let's get three of our favorite players. Gary Payton and
In Boston.
KG, and let's go form a super
Ray
team.
Allen,
yeah.
yeah.
Now LA's like, yeah, we'll do the same.
Right.
Just screwed it up. So no,
No to transfer portals.
I'll tell you what, it helps teams like the Gophers for football. For sure it does. You're
Yeah.
getting the second, third stringers from
because
top.
they know they can bounce.
Yep.
So is transfer portal just a COVID thing?
You can
It's
only do
done
it
after this
one year. Well, I don't think they put a limit on
They're
it.
trying to deal with people who have a fifth year of eligibility due to COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
You might have the school might not have a scholarship for you, right? So every fifth year scholarship you award, you can't give it to an incoming freshman. So that if you're building for the future, you neglect the short term for benefit for paying the long term.
Right. They'd rather have a veteran player than bring in somebody they really don't know what they're going to bring to the program.
Right.
Well, like that Cruikshank kid who played for the Gophers last year. Now he's transferring again and going to St. Cloud.
Yeah,
You
that-
can only
that's
transfer
excessive.
once, though.
He's doing it. I don't
Well,
know
he
if
might have been a redshirt transfer, wasn't he?
He was a captain at Colorado College, and he came to the U,
Yeah.
and now he's going to St. Cloud.
I think it's tough.
Weird.
I think if you make a commitment to a school and they're committing to you and they're paying for your education, you see through that commitment.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough, but I do think it helps teams like the Gophers because those kids can only transfer one time. So if they do transfer, they're stuck. But that's the way it's supposed to be, at least.
Right.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Appreciate your time, JT.
Hey, my pleasure. Love it,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
Love
JT,
it.
it's good talking to you.
Another good time. And like we say, go through life, be a good person, do the right things, and don't be a dick.
That's yesterday.